Hello, my sexy soulful Saggies. Welcome back. As you know, I'm Sachi the Scorpio, and I am here to deliver your Twin Flame Union Guided Healing Tarot for the month of January. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The more energy that you send to me, the more energy that I can send to you. So, Saggies, let's get into it. This is what came out in the cleansing ceremony. We had You Are Good Enough in reverse, the full moon in Virgo in reverse. So, the full moon in Virgo is coming up in Pisces season, just 2 seasons away. So there might be a pretty transformative time for you there. But it does feel like your self-worth is lacking a little bit. I'll be totally honest. It feels like you're having a difficult time to, remember that you are good enough. Like, heck yes, you are, Saggies. I mean, I'll be real with you guys. You guys are my favorite in the zodiac. Yeah, you are good enough. You really are. There has been some sort of conflict here, and like the Five of Wands does indicate conflict, chaos, when there's not coordination to things, like things that would, raise concern for the angels, so to speak. And it looks like you've decided that you don't want life to be like that anymore. You're not into the chaos. You don't want to fight. And you've really decided, like, all right, I'm done fighting here. But then we had the Seven of Swords come out in reverse. And so what I was getting is that you haven't left the conversation. There was some sort of discrepancy that happened here, but you've decided that you're not abandoning what you perceive as your duty there. I will also say, like, the Seven of Swords, when the Seven of Swords is in reverse, there could be some sort of belief that someone, including yourself, like, is too weak or too bad of a person to be anything except, like, terrible or corrupt or, doomed to be not good enough, right? And there's also something to be said about taking responsibility for sometimes what, our own behavior that we maybe have shame around, or something that we're judging ourselves where we think it's like a bad choice, but taking responsibility for every single action that we have ever done, even when we are upset or whatever it may be, is, the first step forward in order to grow and in order to become what we can perceive as a good person, without shame, without, sadness or hate or whatever, we might have that we don't enjoy in ourselves. So it does look like there was a situation, like, it's kind of like scene of the crime type energy, like something happened where some sort of innocence was taken, and, you have decided that you're not leaving that situation at all. And you're understanding how a lot of valuable things can be learned even in negative situations. You're done with the negative situations, but you actually haven't left it. So it feels like you're not fighting it, but you're still kind of there. And then we had Poltergeist coming out using tea time, and I heard, well, it's time for the tea. So Saggies, let's get into it. By the way, I think it was Gemini that also had this, so it must be tea time in the Gemini Sagittarius axis. And I would say, yeah, right? We just had those eclipses, the eclipse in that axis, both of the eclipses. And then, we have eclipses coming up again in Gemini season, your sister sign. And yeah, so we are going to check out what is going on. So you might want to drink some tea. It is the cold months. All right, so this month what we are going to do is we are going to take a look into what your angels want you to know. And then we are going to look into what is hindering your access to the angelic realms. And then in the extended, we will take a look at what you can do in order to connect to your angels. And then we will also take a look at some advice on how to manifest the highest vibrational timeline. And we will also take a look into some oracles. So let's see for our Saggies. Oh, what is it? Oh, I also heard that you're done with lies. I forgot. I wrote that down in my notebook before we began. But yeah, like, and the thing, the Seven of Swords, when it comes out, there can be, lies that have happened and burdens, being carried that are not true. And it looks like, you know, you're done fighting, whatever that is, but you still haven't really left the situation. Could also be a relationship, since 7 is the number of partnerships. But all right, let's see. What do your angels want you to know? That came out pretty fast. Communication is key. New moon in Gemini. Guess what's happening in this new moon eclipse? What's happening in the new moon in Gemini? It's an eclipse. So yeah, exactly what I was talking about. So yeah, your angels want you to know that communication is everything right now. With your sister sign Gemini, that's the energy of, you know, dualism inside your brain, right? And the dualism that you have, the left and right hemisphere of the brain, is your own divine feminine and divine masculine energy. And you need to make sure that you are communicating with yourself correctly. If you are psychically connected to your twin, this is balancing the mental connection that you have. Okay, communication is everything. I'm also hearing that the angels are saying, like, communicate with us. That's key. Because they hear your thoughts. Oh, yes, they do. All right, let's see. We have the Page of Swords, Death in reverse, and 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, there's something that is not over. There's something that's not over, and you need to know that, right? Death coming out in reverse indicates that it's not an ending, but it's also not ready to transform yet. And it's kind of in that weird intermediate, like, this is purgatory. You know, when the angels come and take, like, souls from purgatory, and purgatory is kind of like the middle place, I guess, where, you know, while you're waiting to be judged, to either ascend to heaven or go to hell. And yeah, so it feels like that's kind of where you are. And it's just that, you know, it's not over, but because it's not over, it can't rebirth yet. There's something that needs, there's some sort of communication that needs to happen here. With the Page of Swords in reverse, like, Page of Swords, I always take as, like, so it's the divine feminine and the divine masculine energy when it's a page. When it's usually when it's just underdeveloped. But because it's in reverse, what I'm hearing is, like, your intellectualism. Like, this is a child prodigy. I forget his name, but, like, he's a child prodigy who, you know, was writing these most beautiful things since he was, you know, basically a baby. And he was very well known, but, you know, knew all the fancy words, knew all of these concepts, but still, you know, a child. Like, your communication has nothing to do with the words that you know, or the intellect that you can have, or the philosophical breadth or depth that you can have. And Saggies, you know you have it the best. It's not about that. It's a different kind of communication. And the kind of communication that it is has to do with this 7 of Pentacles, of how you are growing, right? You don't have to be the most intelligent or well-spoken person in the room, although you will be, most likely. People with Sagittarius placements tend to be. But this has to do with how you're growing. How are you nurturing yourself, right? Like, if you imagine yourself and your body and your home as all things that are growing, and, you know, you are the one caring for them, that's kind of how it is. Like, because it's 7, again, it has to do with some sort of one-on-one relationship, and this has to do in the physical world. Like, you need to communicate with things that you're growing better. What do you want to grow? Yourself. Are people around you allowing you to grow? Are they conducive to the growth that you want to be had, right? This is having a very purposeful garden of reaping what you sow. And that is what really needs to be communicated, is what are you trying to grow here, and who are you trying to grow with? And it really needs to be, you know, solidified. Because it looks like you're holding on to something. You won't let it die fully. Like, there is an ending here that I'm feeling, but it's, again, it's just stuck in that purgatory of not really judging. Like, all right, should it go to seed to be reborn? Right? That's that Scorpio Taurus axis. Should it go to seed to be reborn? Or should it be recycled, you know, into the earth? What's the light energy here? We have ink spit. So it does look like there was some dark energy that was communicated here. It might have been when either you or someone else was kind of a little bit flustered and they just sort of spit ink out, which I take as like kind of word vomit of like saying things you don't mean or something like that. It does look like, yeah, there is some dark energy, right? Some shadow that's in the light when you're communicating. So it looks like, you know, you might be writing, like you can take these things that are happening and put it on paper is what I'm getting. Like how you want to grow. It doesn't have to be some sort of fancy poem or, you know, you don't have to write a book, even though Sagittarius, you are the best at those sorts of things. But just write a list, like spit it out of what you're really trying to grow here. You don't have to make it into something beautiful. Just make it an affirmation. It says, it flashes the light emitting spots on its body, which drains its opponent's will to fight. And it takes the opportunity to scuttle away and hide. Yeah, so it looks like there was somebody here who, you know, shined this light towards you. You know, it's like you were going towards the light and, you know, but it was a false light and they drained your will to fight, which is why you feel maybe like you're not good enough or, you know, whatever it is, because they went and hid away. So definitely some abandonment issues here of not feeling good enough because of that. Yeah, moonlight. So yeah, you're doing your shadow work. You are doing it. If you need any reassurance, there it is. Because, you know, the shadow's in the light and what comes out, it's the moonlight, which is the light in the shadow. So yeah, it looks awesome. It looks like you might be working with the moon phases, right? We have a full moon here, which is a good time to release, and new moon is a good time to bring in. And as you know, the last time full moon, new moon eclipses, right? It was in your sign. So, yeah, it says, it is said that happiness will come to those who see a gathering of Clefairy dancing under the full moon. Yeah, so it looks like, you know, this is fairy type relationships. So it does look like there's some soulmate relationships here. And you do know that happiness, like, will be found when you, like, you know, are dancing under the full moon, when you can finally let this go. It does look like you know that. It looks like you're very, very aware of, you know, the shadow work. Maybe, like, you know, how to do it, and that happiness is at the end. Dunsparce using rollout. So this card came out for a couple signs this month already. But rollout is an attack. When you do it, it does 10 damage, and then the next time it does 20 damage and 30 and 40. Like, it continues to get stronger and stronger, but once you start, you can't stop, like for like 5 or 6 attacks. So that's something that you need to know, is that, you know, the more that you do your shadow work, it's going to get more and more, and it's going to gain this momentum, basically. I'm seeing like a rock like fall down the mountain and just start like picking up mass. And that's kind of how it is. Okay. And the thing is, as you go through do your shadow work, it's going to be, you know, it's going to get stronger and stronger, and you are going to get stronger and stronger. And don't think that like you're not good enough maybe because of something in the physical world, because like spiritually you're doing it a lot. Like, this is some heavy work I'm feeling. It says, it digs into the ground with its tail and makes a maze-like nest. It can fly just a little. Yeah, so if you feel like you need to take your tail, which is your past, and make a maze-like nest into your surroundings, cozy up for the winter, and, you know, fly just a little, of not really leaving. I mean, most of us aren't really leaving the house, but, you know, cocooning yourself, yeah. The angels want you to say, yeah, you're in your shadow work. What could be more important? How are you allowing yourself to grow, right? Set your intentions of how you want to grow and let the universe take care of the rest. You will know if you're doing the right thing because your body will have a positive response. Let's see, in the shadow, we have Mawile using carnivorous chomp. So this is some steel energy. So what I'm getting is, if you have to steal food, oh my goodness. Well, Okay. But yeah, carnivorous chomp does indicate talking about eating meat. So if some of you have been considering, you know, eating meat again, or maybe stop eating meat, this is your sign to go whichever way you need to go. It says attached to its head is a huge set of jaws formed by horns. It can chew through iron beams. So it talks about, you know, its jaws formed by horns. So, I mean, the thing is, it looks like what I'm hearing is you're dealing with some of your demons, and the angels want you to know that, like, they see this and it's okay to be, like, doing that work, right? Because you have to deal with them in order to actually grow. Like, you're doing shadow work heavy, and the angels are telling me already, like, yeah, this is you grappling with your demons, and you're doing a great job. And, like, you definitely will defeat them. Like, you can get through iron beams. Like, you can get through anything is what I'm hearing. Like, the angels are saying, like, you can do this. You can get through anything. Like, if you can grapple and have, like, your own demons under control, like, nothing can stop you. Whew. All right, let's see what is hindering the access to the angelic forces. I mean, nothing necessarily. Because the thing is like, you are with the angels as you are doing your shadow work, right? Even if you don't necessarily feel them, right? You might not be in that vibration, but they're always there and they'll always help you. All right, we have meditate and contemplate, the new moon in Pisces in reverse. So yeah, it looks like maybe you're not meditating enough or contemplating. Like, it looks like because you're doing all the shadow work, it's really time to just kind of sit your butt there and cocoon inside and let the universe take care of you for a while so that you can really, you know, go through the shadow work and the upgrades that are necessary. So yeah, it looks like the lack of meditation and time alone with yourself, with your own Piscean, you know, emotional duality, that's what's stopping you here. The new moon in Pisces is going to be coming up right in Pisces season. So it does look like there is some, like, what I'm hearing is like, things will change between now and when the new moon in Pisces is, when it comes to your rest. All right, let's see. What is hindering access? I'm going to drink some water. Yeah, maybe you're not drinking enough water. Very, very important to be clearing out your emotional body with water and trying to avoid like sodas, alcohol, like all that stuff. Juice even. Knight of Cups. Yeah, there we go. The cups. So yeah, it looks like, look, he has the wine there. So it looks like, you know, drinking any sort of mind altering substance, really. The Knight of Cups is Piscean. But yeah, just making sure that you are drinking water, because it looks like your water is a little bit eh. And when your emotional body isn't clear, right? When your cells are not, oh, I'm sorry, I did not see that it did that. Okay, so yeah, when your emotional body is not clear, I wonder when that happened. That'll be interesting to see. But yeah, so yeah, when the emotions are, I'm sorry, I have to readjust like that, Sagittarius. Okay, yeah, so when your emotional body isn't clear, when you're not clearing out your body's water, right, the cells, like the cytoplasm of your cells just really start, you know, getting messed up. So yeah, really watching what you drink is important, as well as the media you're consuming and the music that you're listening to. The Knight of Cups is all about, you know, serenading with music and things like that. So it looks like if you're, you know, there is something to be said about experiencing the emotional pain through music, but also there is something to be said also of, all right, time to change what I'm listening to. Oh my gosh. It's so weird. Why does it keep doing that? Yeah, it looks like you're getting turned. Saggy, you getting turned? All right. Please, no more. All right, let's see. What's the light energy here? Ooh, the heart going to carnivorous chomp. Yeah, you need to eat more greens is what I'm hearing. But it looks like maybe you might be eating a lot of meats perhaps, or opposites. Like there's something about your eating patterns that are really influencing your heart. Oh, so it's everything that, what the heck is going on here? Yeah, so it's everything you're consuming. I'm definitely getting some like drinking involved here, Sag. Okay. But it's influencing your heart, right? And your heart chakra not only is your heart health, but also, you know, your ability to send out love and receive love, right? As a gate. I'm hearing like Bjork's The Gate. Like My Healed Chest Wound is a gate. Check out that song. What's the shadow? Eerie wave. Yeah, there's just this eerie, creepy, psychic energy around you, and it's influencing you so that you can't give and receive love. And part of it is what you're listening to, you know, maybe messages, podcasts, music, movies, any sort of entertainment that just isn't about love, okay? It just brings your vibration down, and so does whatever you're consuming. It says it's drowsy in the daytime, but flies off in the evening in big groups. No one knows where they go. So, you know, this is talking about kind of switching that nocturnal, like switching to nocturnal. We are in the dark season. So if you are, you know, being really tired all day, but then in the evening you're like hyped up, or, you know, if you're astral projecting while you're sleeping and going places and becoming exhausted, you know, and never feeling like you're rested. Yeah, that's going to be, you know, your heart, where your heart is, how your heart feels loved, and your emotional body through whatever you're consuming. So, okay. All right, if you are interested, like I said, in the extended, we are going to take a look into what you can do to connect to your angels directly, and then we will also take a look into how to manifest your highest vibrational timeline, and then we'll look into some oracles. I'm hearing that we should pull an oracle to go into the extended for you, Sag. Let's see. What does Sag need to hear? There's two, again, to this carnivorous chomp here. And I wanted to do a little spin. Trust your path in reverse. Interesting. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So it looks like there is some sort of like path, whether it has to do with eating meat or not eating meat. Maybe, you know, try the opposite. Try the opposite. Like, you know, I have no judgment as someone who was vegetarian for almost my entire life, and then my body started craving meat. Like, that's a weird place to be, but if that's what you need to do, then do it. You don't, okay? There's definitely some energy about what you're eating and how you may need to reconceive what is going on there. And share your voice. Come out of the cave. Persecution, expression. Yeah, it is really time to get out of the cave and to share your voice. And, you know, there is something to be said about doing the shadow work. And once you're done, you know, or even while you're in the cave, you can still share your voice, right? There's an echo. So, you know, definitely time to start ink spitting. Write it, you know, if you are wanting to work on a creative project or something, it's time to express yourself. But in order to do that, you have to let go of feeling persecuted, of feeling like someone is against you, right? Because the only person truly against you is yourself. And that's why it's so important how you're communicating with yourself here, how you're allowing yourself to grow. All right. Okay, Sag, so if you'd like, you can follow me into the extended. The link is in the description box below. If we part ways here, good luck with the situation. I am sending you so much love, a big hug, and a kiss on your third eye. Mwah.